Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News, a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. That being said, the first thing we've got to talk about this week, straight from the title and thumbnail as usual, is the fact that it seems like BMX jams are coming back in full force for 2021. The ACT Jam that goes down in Australia is a legendary BMX jam that every single year has a gigantic turnout. And it's already happened this year. It was put on by Backbone BMX, and the highlights video is in the description down below. It's 14 minutes, 30 seconds of pure BMX, and there's some really awesome stuff in here. The jam always gets crazy, and you can see in the background of any of the riding how many people were actually there. Looks like it was an awesome time, and I am stoked to finally see this happening. And then the UCI also announced that they're having And then with this, perhaps even bigger news, the UCI announced that the 2021 UCI Urban Cycling World Championships is going down in Montpellier, France, the 4th through the 8th of June of this year. Super awesome to see all of this. I know all of you are excited to see contests and jams coming back in full force. I know there have been like backyard jams and other things like that. I'm talking about the big, huge events. Maybe this will even mean that Swamp Fest gets to happen later this year. It says in the description on their Instagram post that this event will crown UCI world champions in BMX freestyle and flatland. So I'm not sure how this is going to affect the Olympics, which are going down just a month and a half after this. The start date for the Olympics this year in Tokyo, Japan is July 23rd, and BMX freestyle is supposed to be in it. Maybe Vital BMX will do some sort of interview with someone who knows the scoop, or figure it out for themselves and post up the information. They're usually really good at staying on top of the Olympic information. Hopefully we'll get that information soon and see how this event is going to affect who is actually going to take part in the Olympics for BMX freestyle. Then something else I wanted to highlight this week is the fact that Steve Woodward is back on Colony after being off for 12 years. He was originally put on the team in 2007. It lasted for 2 years. Then he was off the team, and now 12 years later, he is back on Colony. There's an interview up on Vital BMX asking a few questions about it, the why he left in the first place, and just kind of where he's at now. He made a move from San Diego to New Mexico, and how it affected his riding, and just a lot of other cool stuff. And if you know anything about Steve Woodward, you know that he is genuinely one of the most underrated BMX riders ever. This dude has all of the tricks of the best guys ever, and he has forever, but he kind of just never broke through that barrier of being like the big dude. Even Dennis Anderson talks very highly of Steve Woodward, so I'm really glad to see this happening for him, and maybe he'll get some more of the recognition that he deserves. And I'm excited to see the welcome edit or whatever project they work on first, because it says at the end of this interview that he's going to get straight to work working on a video. And if you guys know about Steve Woodward and his riding, you know that he puts in work. We also had some more sponsorship news this week. Jack Seeley's Welcome to Shadow and Sabrosa video is up online. It's over 6 minutes long, and we've talked about Jack before with his Woodward videos. This kid rips, and it's cool to see him getting some support from a company like Shadow and Sabrosa. And that brings us into the videos from this week. And the first video I want to talk about, this is also a highlight of the week, is Eric Elstrand's Madeira ABD section that is now on the RBMX YouTube channel. This is a video part that you absolutely have to see. Pause this video right now, go down in the description and watch it, then come back to hear the rest of the news. Eric Elstrand is at the very top of BMX, period. He seems to be one of the people who can just do anything that he wants to do, and this section proves it. There's not one single filler clip in this entire video, and normally Eric has some like super creative, different usage of spots, but in a kind of like unique creative way of his own, where he's like foot jamming down a bunch of stairs to 360 out at the bottom and hang fives with crazy stuff like that, which he does do in this video, but it's in kind of a different way. And he approaches grinding rails where he's doing crank arm grinds to over double pegs and Derek Duster stuff. It's just, you just need to see this video. I cannot do it justice by explaining it. I will just tell you that the last clip is a hang five tooth hanger to 180 down a real rail. Wrap your head around it, go watch it, come back and let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. And then I wanted to talk about Jordan Hango's Atlantis Vancouver Spyglass video section that's up on the Fit Bike Co YouTube channel right now. Jordan Hango is one of these guys who's like an enigma in BMX. He's a mystery. He just comes out with these incredible videos. I'm pretty sure he won X Games Real BMX this year or last year, whichever one it was. He won it with an incredible video. And then we've got this video from him where he's just putting spots to use in really creative and unique ways, but totally different than Eric Elstrand, where he's doing like a thread the needle grind in here, where like the gap between his bars and this wall barrier thing is like literally like a couple inches. And just the way that he rides the spots that he does in his videos, there's something about it that's like satisfying to watch, where you watch it and you're just like, fuck yes. That's kind of the way I watch his videos, and it gets psyched. It gets me psyched on bikes, and I think you'll be psyched when you watch it. And then after that, there's a bunch of other videos that I wanted to talk about this week, but not quite in depth. First, we've got a Flatland one for all you Flatland guys. It's called BMX Inside the Orange Velodrome, and it's with Matthias Dandois. Then there's one with some local Ohio guys that I wanted to make sure I shouted out. It's called Cabin Fever 2021. Marty Shields filmed and edited it. Gage Sharp is in there, along with a bunch of other Ohio shredders, and it's definitely worth the watch. Then we've got Volume Bikes, Cali to Arizona, and this is where we start getting into the longer videos for those of you who want a longer video to watch. This one's over 7 minutes long with the Volume Bikes team. Then we've got another USL BMX bike dice video, this time with Joris Colomb. That one's over 7 minutes as well. And then we got a couple videos with some trails in them for all of you who are fiending for some trails videos, especially those of you who are in the northern hemisphere where things are starting to warm up and the trails are starting to get going. Our trails just had the first riding session on them this past week, so I know you're going to be stoked to see some trails and get hyped to get out there and dig and ride. The first video of these two is Vinyl BMX's ID video, featuring names like Nate and Luke Hallahan, as well as Mike and Mark Potosny, and a whole bunch more. And that video is 8 minutes 22 seconds long, followed by Credence Bikes 3, featuring the entire Credence family in a video that is 11 minutes long. And that brings us into some product related news from this week. First up, we've got Terrible One's Spring 2021 shirts, followed by a We the People Network frame promo video with Dan Crook. This one is extremely well put together in all aspects of the video. Everything from the filming to the editing and effects that were put into the video in the editing, to the pictures of different colorways and details of the frame that were thrown in there. And then you get to Dan Crook's riding. Dude does an ice pick grind to hard 180 tuck no-hander off of a ledge. Then he does up rail to hard 360 can that looked like he was going through a set of dirt jumps, how smooth it was. And it was just really well put together on all fronts. Then we've got a video from Vans and Federal called Speed Dial, and it goes with the release of their collaboration shoe, the Vans and Federal shoe, which you can see on the screen right here. But the video is with Dan Lacey, Anthony Perrin, and Bruno Hoffman, who spent a week in Tenerife filming the video. It's 4 minutes long, and you know those names, so you know that these guys produced and went in. And it was also a bit of a promotional video for the shoe with different clips of it in the video, as well as the fact that it was released in conjunction with the shoe, which is linked separately in the description down below to the actual Vans website. And then the clothing company Burn Slow released a promo called What in the World Is This BMX? So you can check that one out if you want to. And then we've got a couple interview things which actually do relate to Burn Slow, so I'll talk about Aaron Ross's Unclicked podcast first. He does talk about Burn Slow in there, which he is a part owner in, and he talks about kind of the concept behind it and how they're helping out some riders and paying people, and how the guy who is running the show and doing the majority of everything is trying to do it just right. He wants to pay people what they're worth and not do anything cutting corners or anything like that. And it was really cool to hear about, as well as the rest of the podcast. It was a really, really good listen, and I definitely think that anyone who is even remotely a fan of Aaron Ross or BMX in general could get something out of it. Then there was another Aaron Ross interview video that is also up on the Our BMX YouTube channel. This is another in their least favorite, most favorite series, where riders talk about their least favorite personal video part of all time and their most favorite personal video part of all time being their own video parts. And the funny thing about this one, without giving too much of it away, is that Aaron Ross talks very highly of his least favorite video part, but there was just one thing about it that makes it his least favorite of all time, and he still to this day has a running inside joke to try and change it or do another version of it to make it better. So it was really interesting to hear. And on that note, if you guys have any comments on anything that I had to talk about in this week's news video, whether it's the fact that bigger BMX jams seem to be coming back or the UCI World Championships are happening, or anything else, let me know in the comments down below. And hopefully, if you're new or you haven't yet, you'll hit the subscribe button down below while you're leaving a comment, and that'll mean we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.